Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Bibbidi Bobbidi Bros. I'm Josh. This is Pierce.
Heyo.
We've got some big news. We had the yearly Disney shareholder meeting. First one for Josh tomorrow. We're going to get into that. We're also going to get into planning your first time at Disney and focusing on all the rides at the different parks. Well, before we get into all of that, let's just do a quick catch up. What is new with you this week? Anything new personally?
Well, humble brag.
Okay.
Finished top 20 in our golf league.
Oh my
So I was
God.
pretty jazzed about that.
Oh,
Jazzed about that.
Yeah, get that off.
That was kind of like it's humble brag.
Humble brag, yeah.
There was 63 players, and I got like 19th or something like that.
I give you credit 1 week about your good round.
Well, dude, it ended up, it was the best season I've ever had there. I think best before that was like 30th out of like 80 or something. But yeah, so pretty jazzed about that.
Taste the throw up in my mouth right now just hearing about this.
You had a injured hand.
Stop.
So
just let it go. I'm proud of you. Let's leave it at that. I'm proud of you. Good work, buddy.
As you should be, because I'm your teammate. I carried.
We came in like last place.
Second to last place.
I had a broken hand. It was a rough winter. It was not.
Yeah, you took a few max scores, and
I did.
Brad did too.
Whatever.
Our other teammates. So it is what it is.
The friendship, not the golf. Plus,
yeah, it was a fun season. Outside of me playing well this season, it was a lot of fun. I feel like we had a lot of fun this year.
A lot of laughter. I play better on a real golf course by far. I don't know what it is about the dang simulator, but I just struggle. It's weird.
I think it's the style of the turf that there's basically like concrete right under you. So if you hit any kind of like punch iron, you don't get divots or anything, and it just doesn't feel right. So you have to like catch it differently.
Yeah, so, I don't ever catch it differently.
The nice thing about the simulator, which is why I play better there, is your lie is usually always the same, and your feet are always even. So you're never like,
that is true.
Below the ball or above the ball. And that stuff messes me up on the course, and that's where I get my shanks and duffs. So,
it's a good point. Yeah,
but it kind of evens out a bit. So,
yes, come here for all your golf tips.
Yeah. Or don't just hear how terrible we are.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's my humble brag.
Yeah, how's the family doing? Everybody else is good. Same old, or anything?
Yeah, they're
new?
all fine. Nothing's new with them. I mean,
not compared to golf.
Golf definitely taking precedent. Gwen got me some more a new couple pins today on Pin Drop Tuesday. I got a new Yeti pen that I'll be happy to show you guys when it comes in, because I collect the Yeti pens. And then I got I also collect Chip and Dale. And Chip and Dale is the Easter pin this year. So she got me one of the Easter pins. So I'll make sure to show those on the pod when we get them, hopefully by next pod. They usually send them out pretty quick.
Yeah, definitely one of her core love languages there. Gift giving. I like it. So.
Pins. Definitely
pins. Yeah, just pins. That's funny. I mean, hey, there's worse ways to show your love.
These are her new ones right here. They're the Haunted Mansion stretching portrait Mickey and Friends pens. So she's those were some Grail pens for her. So she's super jazzed that she got those, and they'll be hanging somewhere in our house. So
yeah, jealous of those.
Yeah, she's jacked up about those. So I'm happy for her. So.
Well, on my end, we went to that soccer tournament this past weekend.
Yeah.
Alex played pretty well. Super proud of her. She played hard, improved as the weekend went on. They won the tournament. So, she got called up, played a good amount too, probably played half the game or more every time. They played 4 games, and just happy to see her exceed expectations and excel and just, I don't really care about win or loss. I just like to see improvement at this age. She's 9, so but man, it's fun to watch them get excited when they succeed. It's just like she's joyful and pumped, and that's fun. That's a
I
lot of
was
fun.
worried because she was getting called up to play on the higher level team. I was worried she wouldn't get as much playing time, but it sounds like she played a lot, so I'm happy about that. That's good on her coach too, that she's driving all the way to Cincinnati. You're taking all the way to Cincinnati, that she actually gets play time. Because I remember when I was like on the junior Acme team and all that stuff, and we traveled all over the place, and there was times where I didn't play at all. Like I drove 2.5 hours to places, and then we played 3 games and I didn't play at all, which is ridiculous. So,
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I will say one thing about both of the coaches she's had in this travel program is somehow they are exceptionally good about giving even amounts of playing time.
mhm.
And it's not like they're sitting there fiddling with a stopwatch, letting them know when to send people in, but I bet it's pretty equal if I were to look at the actual time,
That's
which
good
I
on
never
them then.
would. But yeah, it's really cool because she could have just came in. I mean, if that was a high school thing and they brought you up, chances of you playing is like
Yeah.
minimal, you know?
I mean, I remember in
And
high school when I was when we were on the baseball team, and I think it was like my sophomore or junior year, I got pulled up to be there for the tournament games, but I was never gonna play, so I
yeah,
just was there. So it's
just hanging
nice that
out.
she's getting that action and getting that experience and actually getting
Yeah.
to get out there and show her wares.
Yeah, I'm
And
really
I'm super proud
appreciative.
of her too. I that's awesome that she did that and had the confidence to do it.
Yeah, it was really cool. Yeah, I was pumped. Um, Addie had volleyball. And not such a bad thing. She had her toughest week in terms of performance, not for just herself, but more for the team. But man, she's got a great attitude. I'm proud of her for that. She's ready to get after it. She goes because every week the way it works is the top 4 teams play at 8 a.m. the next week, and the bottom 4 teams play at 10 a.m. next week. So you don't really know when you're going to
Hmm.
play. It's kind of like a winner's bracket and a loser's bracket. And
Right.
she goes, "Oh, I'm certain we'll be back at 8 a.m. next week." So,
Yeah.
I love that attitude. She's just, man, she's always positive. My kids are very coachable, which is nice because I've coached before and not everybody is. So,
Right.
um, yeah. Nonetheless, good weekend for sports. Learned a lot, got better, some success, and future success for that volleyball team. Addie's team was in first place for the whole season, and they had a bad week. It happens to
Yeah.
everybody. You need to get knocked down now before tournament time, so it's a good thing.
Right.
But
Oh yeah,
other
and
than
then
that,
one more thing I had is I
yeah.
had my ratings clinic for the softball league
Oh
that I haven't
God,
played in 7 years, and
yeah.
my back has not hurt that bad, and I don't know how long. And the
But
amount of balls that I booted across that field is ridiculous. It was so bad.
so
You'd
you're
think it would
not the
just
rookie
come
then.
natural. You feel like it would just come natural, and some of it did, but others of it was like, man, like this is terrible.
So
So
you're not Dennis Quaid the rookie
no, I'm
at 40.
definitely. I mean, I can't even make the throw from shortstop to first base anymore. So
I mean, well, yeah. We're
some would say I couldn't make it before.
well
Our
as
coaches.
the Disney people say, I am poo sized now. So
Yeah, yeah,
I don't even want to run. So,
yeah,
gotta I commend you for getting back out there and getting after it. I'm gonna come
yeah.
watch you. I'm gonna make one
It
of
was
those.
it was it was good to be back out there and playing ball because it's you
Yeah.
miss it. And I played in that league for a long time, and
Like a
to not
decade.
play it for since basically we had kids. COVID happened, then we had kids, and it was like there was no rush to get back out there. And now that I'm
But
back
now
out
you
there
are,
again, it'll
man.
be I'm
Yeah,
gonna get the taste.
let us know in the chat if you guys want me to make a giant Pierce head and take it to the games. Show it off. Every time he
Nobody wants
boots it,
that.
I'll put the head up. Every time he makes an
Oh,
error.
but your arm's gonna get tired.
Oh man. Also, I want to note we said we would put my friend Sarah Coyle's info into the uh,
Yes.
comments
Last,
or into
yeah,
the and then
the
I
show
told her, I
notes.
said that the show notes. Thank you. and I said that I think we missed it and I would get it in, and then I posted it and realized it didn't post right when I did it. It will be in there this episode. It will get right, and I apologize for that. Listen, we're just we're becoming more and more like our boomer parents every day. I swear.
The technology gets us, man.
I'm telling you, man. I'm smarter with technology 5 years ago than I am now.
It feels like it, doesn't it?
With technology that hasn't changed. I'm not talking about new stuff. I'm just getting dumber.
Right.
Yeah. So, sorry, Sarah. We'll fix that. And anyways, I know you got some info for me on the shareholders meeting, so hit me with that and let's discuss.
All right. So the main thing I want to talk about is the new CEO, Josh D'Amaro's his statements about the future of Disney and kind of the strategy and that kind of stuff. And I think it's really interesting because it's definitely going away from the Iger view where, Bob Iger was really about acquiring things like Marvel and Star Wars and all this other stuff. He acquired those TV
Franchises.
rights and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Franchises and whatnot. So, and Fox also, ABC. Well, ABC I guess was kind of before, but Fox also during that time. So one of the big things is focus on connecting all parts of Disney. So between the movies, streaming, ESPN, and the theme parks, and kind of trying to combine all those. So I'm kind of wondering how he's going to do that, because one of the big things he talked about was making the parks the focus. And obviously I'm using my hands a lot because I'm really excited about this stuff. But making the parks the focus of a lot of the innovation coming over the next probably decade or so. So just the idea that trying to make it seamless between these things. So there's going to be hopefully more updates at the parks to more current stuff, like having Bluey at Animal Kingdom is going to be big. Stuff like that. I think I'm wearing blue today. So
Hey, heck yeah, Rad Dad.
Yeah, Rad Dad. But just like that integration of the different facets of Disney will be nice. I think that's going to be huge.
Yeah. I did get that vibe as well. I thought what was interesting to me when you compare him and Iger, I think what Iger did was great. He brought a lot of great franchises, but it does feel a bit fractured. Like, I very much want to see what we're going to do with mutants. I want more integration with that. Give me another round of the mutant movies. And I don't know if we'll get that, but even if we could see some of that in some of the parks, I don't know what the rights are to that. I know that they can't use a lot of Marvel in the rides. Because Universal has rights to that. So I don't know where their bottlenecks are going to be there, but just to see how you could see some more continuity between all things would be pretty cool. I know he mentioned that he's going to try to have more personal experiences. They're going to focus on more cruise growth. I think they got a new cruise line, Believe, coming out. So, yeah, I'm excited for all of that. I think he's a true Disney person at heart. Creativity focused. I love. He's
that's another thing. So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say he mentioned how the parks are a big profit driver, and I'm like, I know that's right. They keep getting more and more, and I don't have any plan to stop. So I mean, at least we're going to get more value out of it, right?
Right. I mean, hopefully that's
my hope. Yeah.
The one fear about change, though, is that they're going to start changing things just for change's sake. And I hope it doesn't get to be that. Change is good as long as it's done in the right way. I go back to the Zootopia replacing Bug's Life, and I don't love that change. I don't think it was a positive change, but I do think that my kids are going to like it better. So
that's always a struggle, right? Like they're trying to look forward to the next generation or two, and we're like, don't fix it if it's not broken. You know what I mean? And so you got to look at it that way. I don't know that Zootopia is the route I would have went there. I think you could have done other stuff. You could have uh, you could have even done Lion King. I think it would have fit in a little better. I don't know. That's my take, but um, we'll see where they go. We'll see how they decide
Yeah.
to do things and what they pick. I would like to see, and I don't know that we're going to get it, but I would like to see more originality come out. They
That's
announced
actually another thing that he talked about was like they want to get away from focusing like on all the blockbusters and coming up with some new stuff like you're saying. And I think they're worried about the we've overconsumed Star Wars, Marvel, that kind of stuff. Obviously, Star Wars and Marvel are still big hitters, but if they can get some other properties to come in and like a Zootopia has, and come in and take our money, basically, that would be a positive too. To just
yeah.
have another thing that we're not going to get as quickly burn out on.
Part of me loves how we've had a couple franchises come from rides themselves. Haunted Mansion, Jungle Cruise, Pirates of the Caribbean. All those things were rides first. I kind of miss that vibe that we don't have these original rides that are then we're spinning stories off of those rides.
Mhm.
And while I felt that vibe too, he also said, "Hey, we're going to do Toy Story 5, Lilo and Stitch 2, Incredibles 3. They're all proven winners." And I'm just like, okay, that's cool.
But some of those things, to be fair, they've already been scheduled. Like
They have
Toy
been.
Story
And
5
you're
and Incredibles 3 have already been in production. I don't know about
100%.
Lilo and Stitch 2. I don't know about that, but
I
is
know
that
that
going to
they're
be a
not just
live?
gonna,
Is that a
the
what's
live
that?
one. Yeah, the live
It's going
one.
to be a live action. Okay.
Yeah. And I liked the first live action. It was different than the animated, but I still liked it.
I
And
haven't even
I
seen it
think
yet.
and I will go see every one of these movies. Or well, I don't know about Toy Story 5. They irritated me with number 4, so I might wait for that to come to Disney. Disney
I
Disney
think
Plus.
my kids are starting to get be to the age. So Violet's only 2, so taking her to a theater might be, or as my oldest says, theater, might be.
Oh, she's bouge.
Oh,
Yeah,
she's bougie. Theater.
the
She
theater.
it might be a little too early for her by this summer, but maybe not. I think we took Lily to see Moana 2. That was her first big girl movie, and
Okay.
I think she might have been 3 when that came out. I don't remember now, but so I would like to start going to all these movies as a family because I remember doing that when I was a kid.
Absolutely.
We went and saw, um, I want to say Aladdin or Beauty and the Beast, like the Delphus Theater or something like that.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so.
Yep. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see where it goes. I have faith in Josh tomorrow. I don't know. It's a big machine. I don't know if one person can really dictate how well things go.
Yeah.
But I think
I don't know. It seems like it does seem like they have pull though, because you
they
went
do.
from Bob
Yeah.
Iger to Chapek, that was different,
Yeah. I know. I think he
and then
got
back to Bob
hosed.
Iger, which seemed to right the ship again. And now we're getting a new CEO, so I'm kind of hoping that he does. He talks a lot about parks, and he's coming from parks, so I want most of the focus. Like if you could take 51% of the focus from Disney and put it into the parks, that
I
would
agree.
be like check mark for me. That's what I want. We
Me
don't
too.
need to. I say we like I'm part of Disney. Disney doesn't need to acquire any more stuff, in my opinion. They have enough. Now, how do we cultivate her? How did they cultivate the what they own now and make it a part of the streaming in the parks? I think is huge.
I mean, if he wants to open a fifth gate, no complaints here. I would be pumped
Exactly. That's what I'm
about that.
saying. Or
Yeah,
if he
I'm
wants to
agreeing with you.
open up or if he wants to open up a park in Texas or somewhere in the
Columbus, Ohio.
Midwest.
Yeah, Columbus,
Columbus,
Ohio.
Ohio would be pretty cool, but then my wife probably would never let us leave.
You'd be so
And,
poor. Oh my god,
oh
you'd be
God, dude.
broke, dude.
Just think like Penn Tuesdays, we'd be there every Tuesday. Waiting in line
Yeah,
with all the
you're
other
right.
schmucks.
You're right. With this, maybe St. Louis or something. Move it 8 hours
Yeah.
away where we can drive
Yeah, far enough anyway. Chicago area. That's
man.
still far enough.
to.
So
That is funny.
another thing that he talked about was technology. And
Yes.
he mentioned multiple times about AI would not be replacing creative, but more like assisting.
Yeah.
That worries me slightly.
Yeah. I don't buy into all
Um,
that. Yeah.
so my wife, I don't know if anybody out there knows this. Most people probably do. She works in graphic design and she like educational type things. And she is not as big on AI being involved in creative. And I completely understand it. And the more I've researched it, it's kind of because of her, you know, dislike of it. I've researched it
Yeah.
more, and it does seem like that we everything's going to turn like the same, like basically if you mix all the colors together, so if you mix
Oh,
all this information together, you're just going to keep getting that same gray.
yeah.
So because that's how our current AI works, at least that's how I understand it. So that is somewhat worrisome that if they got into AI type stuff, that we would lose some of the great minds that work at Disney.
Yeah, I think some of the
That's
best
a
things
worry.
in creativity is the human aspect, like the human emotion, the human, you know, sentiment to everything. They say they're going to integrate AI and it's not going to take over, but I also know, as much as I love this place, this company, they are constantly focused on profitability. And
I mean, this was the shareholders meeting.
yes, it was. And at the end of the day, if AI gets good enough and is going to massively reduce cost, I have a hard time believing they're not going to cut people. I just don't see it. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. They are very in tune with the fans, though, for the most part. Like, they do listen to feedback and
Right.
negativity, and they don't like to mess with what works and to alienate their fans. So they Chapek did that, and it didn't fare well for him. So
Right.
I am hopeful that they will continue with that. I mean, and if not, I think it's a group of community that we all are part of that will just hit them in the pocketbook eventually. I mean, if it this is
Yeah.
not authentic Disney at the parks and with the creativity, then what are we doing? I think that's what we all
Well,
love about it, right?
and that kind of leads it, like his big quote was make Disney more connected, more immersive, and double down on what already works. So if you're what you're saying is exactly what he kind of said was, or what you're kind of saying is exactly what he said, is that go back to what makes Disney Disney and do that. Like
Yeah,
lean
yeah,
on that, which I think is good. I think that's a good thing. I think we're still going to have movies like Strange World and Elio that are duds in the box office, but hopefully we have more Encantos and Zootopias and
yes,
Lucas that are maybe didn't do as well at box office because like Encanto came out at a bad time and so did Luca, but they were great movies.
yeah.
So
I
that's
agree.
my hope.
Mine too. We'll see how it goes. As
Mhm.
always, you can count on us to stay abreast of all the new info and keep you updated. So we'll see how
With
it
our
goes over
opinions
time.
about the new info.
Well, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely, because that's what we're here for. We're not here
Right.
just to deliver the news. We're here to tell you if the news is worth a dang. But nonetheless, I'm optimistic, cautiously optimistic, is what I would
Right.
say. So we'll
Yep.
hope. We'll hope. Could be greatness.
There's no point in being negative. It doesn't really get you
Nope.
anything. It just puts you in a bad mindset. I think being
Yep.
optimistic with it about it and just hopeful that, you know, we we go back to like the uphill still, not so much in cost, but in quality. And
Yeah.
that would be great.
Yeah. I completely agree. We'll hope for great things. I saw a guy who
Yeah.
did a ranking the Disney CEOs TikTok, and I was like, dude, these are my people. Like, we're in the thick of the weeds here when we're ranking the CEOs, right?
So where did
He,
where did where did Chapek land? That's weird.
yeah, he was like second lowest. I can't remember the
Okay.
guy that was first lowest, but it's a guy who
Yeah.
almost lost him the company. Um,
Yeah.
Disney's had a lot of people like corporate takeover attempts. Even
Yeah.
recently, there was a I can't remember the guy's name, but he was he was trying to get a board spot, and he was a heavy shareholder, and
Yeah, I
uh,
think his idea was to break it up.
they shut
So
him down quick.
yeah,
Um, that's one thing he gave credit to Iger for, was he made Disney so big with his acquisitions that it was nearly it built a moat around the company in terms of protecting it from corporate takeover.
yeah,
Um, he gave Eisner the top spot,
okay.
and he gave Roy Disney the second spot. And my dog's shaking my camera right now. Sorry. Anyways, gave Eisner the top spot. He gave Iger the third spot and Roy Disney the second spot. So,
Okay. I mean,
what have you.
or Roy Disney got the Epcot going. So I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. And he
Um,
was the one who insisted that we call it Walt Disney World. And that's pretty
yeah.
iconic.
Yep.
But then he said, everything you love about Disney, all the iconic things that you see at the parks and love about Disney, that's Michael Eisner. So even though he had a rough few last years, don't take the credit from the man from his
Yeah.
greatness. That's probably
Yeah.
somewhat true. I don't know. I think there's a
Yeah.
lot of people who would say Iger's better than Eisner.
I think a lot
Six
of
and
people's
one, half a
complaints
dozen
about
of them.
but a lot of people's complaints about Iger is the money thing, that the cost that it now
Oh yeah,
is to go to Disney. Like
yeah,
the amount prices went up during Iger's reign as CEO is
astronomical.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's not comparable to any other CEO. So
And we talk about
um
this a lot because we talk about affordability because we're trying to relate this to people who we think are similar in our situation. But if you want to just to validate what we're saying, compare ticket prices from 25 years ago to what they are
right.
now. And it's not even reasonable compared to what even inflation has been, over
Right.
that time. So, but it goes back to supply and demand. And if it was that cheap, given how the demand has went through the roof, parks are going to be packed at capacity all the time if people can just
Yeah.
go for next to nothing. It's just a tough situation. So,
Yep.
it is what it is. But hopefully great things to come. And I
Yep.
really need my
I
dog
agree.
to stop shaking my camera. Just move her out of the way there. She's my best buddy. She's always with me. She keeps putting her paw on the tripod, and it's like,
Oh, it's just like wiggling.
yeah. Well, it probably looks bad. Anyways, okay. So on to our second part of the episode. If you're done with the shareholders meeting, I don't know
Yeah,
if you had any more.
that's about it. I mean, if there's any updates, we'll obviously get them out there and give our opinions about them. The only other thing is there's some stock buyback stuff. So if you guys are in the stock market or anything like that, or looking into your stocks, if you have Disney stock, there's some things that
Okay.
might change with some of those things. So look into those.
Yeah. That is not something we can't. We do have somewhat of a business background in our careers, but I can't even explain the dining plan properly without ridicule, that I'm not going to even try to tell you about what to do with your stocks. Okay.
No,
I'll
just
deal with mine. You deal with
do
yours.
yeah. Take no
Yeah.
advice from us.
Yeah.
Do
None.
as you wish.
On to rides. We're talking about rides. First time visiting Disney.
Yep.
You can't talk about rides without talking about lightning lanes. So let's start there. I'll kind of give you a rundown of how lightning lanes work, and then we'll get into more of the thick of it. So essentially, lightning lanes are your fast pass system of the past. They have two options. They have a few options. There is a pass that we aren't even going to talk about because it costs so much money, but it gives you like front of every line. It's like $400 a person or something crazy.
Yeah.
For the average family for an affordable trip, you might consider the standard fast pass, lightning lane pass. You have two options with that. There is the multi pass, which gives you in each park the option to get, I believe it's 3 lightning lanes up front.
It's up to 3 lightning lane 1 selections per day.
After you use one, you can book another one, correct?
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's start there. Okay, so basically for an affordable, somewhat money conscious family going to Disney, you're going to want to consider lightning lanes purely because they will speed up your time, increase the amount you see, and how much you do. I will attest that it is effective. It works better. My days a lot of times tend to run smoother when I purchase the multi-pass lightning lane, but there are different strategies to go about it. So we'll kind of talk about that. But to explain it, there's two types of passes that you can purchase. One is the single pass, one is the multi-pass. Most of your rides are going to be within the multi-pass purchase. That costs anywhere between $20 to $35 per person per day. Now, the top tier rides at each park will require a separate single pass. That's another $10 to $25 per pass. So that's going to be per ride per person. The rides that don't fall under multi-pass, but do fall under single pass, I'm going to name them real quick. At Magic Kingdom, you've got the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, and you've got Tron. At Epcot, you've got Guardians of the Galaxy, Cosmic Rewind, widely considered probably the best ride on property. Maybe not your favorite, but overall, a lot of people think it's the best. Hollywood Studios has Star Wars Rise of the Resistance, which is very popular. And Animal Kingdom has Avatar Flight of Passage, also a top-tier ride. So your top-tier rides, if you want a Lightning Lane Fast Pass for it, you are going to have to pay individually for those. But everything else, you can get 3 multi-passes at first for your day. As you use one, you can get another one. And so usually you end up with like 4 to 7 a day that you can end up using depending how efficient you are. So I know that's a kind of confusing. So we'll try to simplify it as we talk about it here. But
so can I give a couple notes? Yeah, a couple notes. So first off, just because say you didn't buy the individual Lightning Lane, you can still do standby for all those rides. A while back, that wasn't the case. They did, queues. Now you can just wait in line, standby until they cut off the line at the end of the night. Sometimes those rides get up to, 80, 90, 115 minutes. So they're not rides that you're going to take little kids on, but the multi-pass allows you to have shorter wait times for those rides. So if you do have little ones like me, that you're not going to wait a half hour in line for a lot of rides because they just don't have the wherewithal to stand or wait in line like that. And then the other point was that it's not when you get done with the ride that you get your new pass. It's once you scan into that ride. Now, some rides have a second scan point with your Magic Band or your card or whatever that you're using. So make sure you know which one it is. But a lot of times when my wife and I go through a line, we scan in and then we're immediately getting our next one going. It's one of those not so great things about Disney that you're on your phone a lot, but it's definitely an opportunity while you're waiting in line to snatch that next one up so you don't wait another 10 minutes or whatever and you might lose, time because you didn't, get right in there.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think also, considering this podcast is for people who have never went, something to consider and to know is that each of these rides has 2 lines. 2 queues. One is your standby line, which you just discussed, but then there's a whole separate line next to it, entrance for your Lightning Lane. So you skip the whole line and basically walk right up, and instead of having a 30-minute wait, 40-minute wait, you've got a 5-minute wait, whatever it may be, and you walk right on. So you got to pick strategically which rides you're going to use your Lightning Lanes on. And that also depends what rides you get. So you need to be on it the minute that you can pick them because everybody's trying to get the best ones, right? Especially at some of these parks that have fewer rides, there's not as many to pick from. So you need to be on it, which is why, to your testament, the minute that you scan in, even before you ride the ride, while you're walking through the queue, a lot of people are trying to get their next multi-pass. So, I think we'll start with that. Let's
Can
go.
I just say one more thing about the
Yeah.
lightning lanes? Um, just keep in mind that there's no set amount relationship of how many lightning lane people go through the line while the standard waiting line are. It fluctuates by how busy and how many lightning lanes they gave out for that block of time. So there are times where it could be fairly close to being equal because there's just not that many people that have lightning lanes for that particular ride, like say like a Figment or Living
Oh,
with the Land or something like that that have less people getting lightning lanes. But then
yeah.
there's
What you're
other
saying
rides
is
that are, I'm sorry, go ahead.
you're saying that the a lot of times the standby line isn't that, maybe not be that busy, and so it could end up being the
Right.
same amount of time if you. So don't use a lightning lane on that ride per
That
se.
that or you could use the lightning lane, but it's you might save you 5-8 minutes.
Got
It's
it.
not going to be you get right on, but only because no one else is using a lightning lane for it.
Right.
So, but then there's other rides that on their highest capacity, they can get up to like 99 to 1, where 99 lightning lane users, individual lightning lane users, are getting on before one standard line is getting on.
Yeah.
That's at the
Yeah.
highest peak times. It's rare, but it does happen. And if you guys ever want to look into any of the wait times and all that kind of stuff, you guys should check out Touring Plans. They do a lot of the data and break down the best times to go to the parks and all that kind of stuff. Way better than we do, because they actually have the stats to back up what they're saying. So that's definitely a good product out there that
Yeah.
you can use that can help you plan around your wait times.
Yeah. Prior to Disney having their own app and doing a lot more of that integration on wait times and giving you an idea of what path you should take, even though I don't use it that much for that. I subscribe to Touring Plans because I found their info to be really helpful. It's great for planning crowds of like what time of year to go to. Like touringplans.com is a great resource for anybody planning a Disney trip. So we'll just say that in general.
Yep.
But so yeah, I couldn't agree more. Let's talk about each park, and we'll kind of run you through what we're talking about. And I'll give my strategy, you give your strategy, and we'll kind of compare. How's that sound?
Okay. Yeah. Sounds great.
So let's start with Animal Kingdom. For me, this is potentially the one park that I'm like, I probably don't buy Lightning Lane for. That's why I'm starting with this. Now you can, but right now especially, there's so few rides that there's two ways to think of this. One, everybody's going to be going to the same rides, so the lines could get longer. But two, also you're getting less for your money because there are fewer rides for your multi-pass. I am an advocate for rope dropping, which is meaning that you're going to be there before the park's open to be early in the line so that you can go to your first ride right away, and you can usually walk on pretty well. For Animal Kingdom, I'm going to rope drop the single pass Avatar ride. I'm going to go right on. Usually, last time we did that, we walked on in 15 minutes. It worked out great. We also were staying on parks, so we had early entry. But that's the route to go, in my opinion. One, if you only need to ride it once, that saves you $10 to $25 for the single ride. And two, it saves you on your wait time. From there, I'm probably kicking over to Everest and riding that before the lines get long. And after that, I don't find that there's anything too long that I need to, that I'm not going to like the line length in general.
Mhm.
Like it spreads out enough that, and especially once more of these rides come out, that might change. You're going to get a new Indiana Jones ride and what have you. So that's obviously going to, the whole thing's going to have to be, you have to rethink it. But I suggest rope dropping Animal Kingdom and saving your money. What do you think?
So I kind of agree with that. I would do it a little bit different. I mean, I would rope drop Flight of Passage. I think that is the best
Yes.
use of a rope drop, probably in maybe all the parks, because it's a fantastic ride, and that gets the highest um, times sometimes. Like of all the parks, that can get some of the highest times, just because that ride is really
It's
good.
amazing. Yeah, it's
But
awesome.
I wouldn't go do Yeti. I would go do the safari because the morning, that's when the animals are eating.
It's true.
I would definitely do the safari next. Um, and a part of me thinks that if you can do the multi-lane pass and you rope drop flight of passage, you're actually going to get done with that park so fast. So if you're doing a half day experience at Animal Kingdom right now and you had a multi pass, you could probably be done by 11
That is true. If
outside of
that's
the
your goal, that
shows.
is true.
Outside of the shows. If you want to go see shows like the Zootopia, um, Animal Kingdom, the Celebration of Lion, not Animal Kingdom, Lion King, the Celebration of Lion King, or Nemo, well, then that's going to space out your time more, especially because Lion King and Nemo were on completely opposite sides of the park.
Hmm.
But
And
I
there's
think,
specifically scheduled times those shows
yes. And
occur.
also the lightning lane for those shows, we did the lightning lane for Nemo and it was awesome. Because if you
Yeah,
remember,
that is true. That's
we
a great
we
point. We
got a
were like
really cool seat.
front and
Like
center,
they literally
and
walked
I
right, like you could have touched the actors. They were that close, and that was
yeah.
really cool.
And for that show, that Nemo shows, both those shows are maybe the best shows in all the parks.
Yeah.
Um, if you have little kids, especially, you want to be up front because that at the end of the show, bubbles fall down, and
Yeah.
kids think that's the greatest thing.
Right.
And in the past, I had just sat in the back and didn't mind because it's still a good show and a good view anywhere in that auditorium. But it is like that was the first time I sat close, and that was really cool. So there's something to be said for that too. It just depends on what you want to spend on. If you're willing to like for
Mhm.
me when I go to Disney, yes, it's budget conscious, but I also know that I'm there to have the best time I can have. So I tend to be a lightning lane purchaser. I was very unhappy when they started charging for lightning lanes, but I fell in line as quick as anybody because there is value in it. Like that's just
Yeah.
the nature of it. If you pay $20 per person, yeah, you're spending another $80 for a family of four. Maybe another, $35 a person is $145 or whatever, what have you. Is that right? Yeah. Um,
I do think that the daily rate
$140.
at
Yeah,
Animal Kingdom's the cheapest
it
of all the
is.
lightning lanes. So that's also something to keep into consideration is that you might get equal bang for your buck because you're spending less. There's less to see there, but you'll also get through those lines faster. And like I said, if
It's
you
true.
want to do a partial day at the park and you rope drop flight of passage, you're going to be able to knock so much stuff out and not have to
Yeah.
have any wait times. And that would be awesome to go to a theme park and spend all day, get the best seats at the shows, and have hardly any wait times, and you still get to see everything. I mean, I feel like in a way that's worth paying for, more
I mean, I,
than other places because you're not
it,
getting everything.
yeah, you make a good point. I just think it depends on what you want to do. Like for me, if there's one that I would need at the least, it would be Animal Kingdom. So if you're trying to not pay for it, that's the one I would cut. That's not to say you don't get value with it because you can. Like you just made several good points for it, which I would agree. And I also want to say I agree on the safari. My hope would be that the line for Everest would be like 15 minutes and then I can run over to the safari next. Um, Definitely do it in the morning though. By 9 o'clock, I would be trying to get over there and
Yeah.
do that. Um, you got to think about what your schedule is. You got to think about like how much are you willing to spend, and how much is your time worth. My time's worth everything at Disney. This is why I tend to get the. If I'm being honest, truthfully, for me, I'm a little less budget conscious when I go on these trips because I've already paid a crap ton of money as it is. But if I'm trying to give it to someone who's first time going, trying to save a little bit, this is one where you can save a little and still have a good time at Animal Kingdom. For me, I buy it at every park. That's to be completely transparent. I tend to buy it at every park. So yeah, that'd be my take. Also, you can also if you get it and you do well enough, you could end up getting to ride things multiple times, which is a lot of fun. If you don't want to leave half day, you might be able to get more in the afternoon. And if that's your favorite, if Everest is one of your favorite rides, you're not going to complain about riding Everest twice. I mean,
No.
you'll be jacked. So
Yeah, and I actually think next time we go to Animal Kingdom, even if we went before the new stuff, I think I would probably still get it. And I'm more budget conscious than you are, and I think I would still get it there just because it's the only place you're not going to have to wait in line. Because even if there aren't enough fast pass or lightning lanes to command waiting in line for a long time. So if you're fine just waiting around to your next lightning lane, you can go do other stuff while you wait. But I just think you get the most for it because you can do the whole park on a lightning lane.
yeah,
If you rope drop Avatar flight
got
of
a rope
passage.
drop Avatar.
Yeah.
I think it's dumb to not. If you're someone who doesn't like to get up early, I highly suggest you pay the $10 to $25 a person for that ride. That ride regularly, at least it used to, and I imagine given that there's fewer rides, that ride regularly gets like up to 3-hour wait times. I would just pay for the single pass if I wanted to ride it that bad or skip it. So
And
I
I also wanted to mention it's a good opportunity if you do have time or you do already have a lightning lane for the safari in the morning to go ahead and do Navi River right after you get off Flight of Passage because that will be like a 5 to 10 minute wait and you can basically walk right on that.
I said Avatar assuming that we would like both rides. There's 2 rides in Avatar Land. I need to get specified because this is your first time going. Ride them both. Start with Flight of Passage, then hit up Navi River Journey for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's move on to Epcot. What's your plan for Epcot?
So first of all, Epcot's the park that I would not get the multi pass.
Okay.
I would get the individual lightning lane for Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. For a couple reasons. One, I have 2 littles that aren't going to ride it anyway. So even if it's just my wife and I, or if it's the whole family, it doesn't matter. I'm still just going to get the individual lightning lane and not do the multi-pass. There aren't enough rides at Epcot, in my opinion, that deserve the need for lightning lane. Especially if I'm going to go back to what I always say. I like to stay on the Skyliner as a resort. So if I'm rope dropping, I'm going to rope drop Remy, the Ratatouille ride, right in France. Right when you get off the Skyliner, you walk right into Epcot. It's to the right. That's what I'm going to rope drop first, and then as soon as I'm out of that, I'm going to hightail it to Frozen. And if you think about the time frame that's in, even if you have to wait a half hour on Ratatouille, none of the Epcot shops are open at that time, so not many people are walking on that sidewalk. So you can move pretty quick to get over to Frozen at that point. You do the Frozen ride or whatever else is over there, and then you kind of start your day on what do you want to do next. And that's kind of how I work it. And then hopefully my individual lightning lane for Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind is somewhere in the afternoon because that would be my preferred time. But, you get what you get. So.
Yeah, so for me, a little different. You're right. You come in on the Skyliner. That does change things for some people. For me, it doesn't make sense, but what I like to do. It doesn't make sense where you come in because I like the Skyliner too. I always stay at a Skyliner resort, and I prefer to take that. I almost always get the multi-pass, and I don't get the individual, and I rope drop Guardians. That is the one park where I'd say, hey, there is a benefit to taking the bus because you end up arriving at that end of the park. Am I going to? Probably not. I rope drop Guardians. It usually takes me less than a half an hour to get on that ride, which is great. And then I try to get a lightning lane for Remy's, and Soarin's a top ride for me, so I always try to hit that too. It does, I will say, with this strategy, Frozen sometimes hard to get. So you will have you may miss that one. So if you have little kids, maybe you go with Pierce's strategy here. But for me, it gives me a better chance to not wait on test track. And then some of the other rides maybe don't warrant it either. But that would be my three rides that I would probably strive for. Would be Remy's, Soarin', and Test Track. And then if you can throw in a Frozen and they have any left, then I would do that too. It's 6 in one, half and dozen in another. I think both strategies work.
Yeah.
I get your point coming in on the Skyliner, though. You are right there by Remy's, so it makes a lot of sense to just hit that first, right?
And Remy does get really high. It doesn't get to Guardians of the Galaxy type high, but it does get really high sometimes. Like it can get up to 80, 90 minutes. And it has been down sometimes. So like the one trip we were on, the second time we tried to go, we went to rope drop it and it was closed. So like it was down.
It's
So
true.
we ended up going to Frozen instead. So, you always have to have your head on a swivel and be ready to make
Yeah,
some changes.
yeah,
Because at Disney you just never know. But
yeah.
I,
It's
I
true.
really think that for my wife and I, because we have two little kids that aren't going to ride Cosmic Rewind, it's actually cheaper to buy the two individual lightning lanes for that and not the multi-pass for everyone.
Sure,
So
sure.
that's
Yeah,
and if my wife was like, "Hey, I want the multi-pass too," then that's what we're gonna get. But
yeah,
if I had my druthers, that's how I'd run it.
yeah. I totally get it. My kids are a little older, so they ride everything. Yeah, there's just so many
Right.
scenarios and variables that go into what you're trying to get out of your experience. I'm always trying to get the most I can out of it, and one lightning lane versus 3 to 5 multi lanes. I like the multi pass value better,
Sure.
but
Yep.
you make a very good point that if you're coming in on one end of the park and you've got kids who aren't riding, some rides anyways, you might be better off at Epcot doing it your route. I mean, I wouldn't criticize anybody if they went that route whatsoever.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay. Let's talk about Hollywood Studios next. We'll save Magic Kingdom for last. Hollywood Studios, I always buy it there. I think it's a good buy. Hollywood Studios has my favorite ride of all the parks, which is Tower of Terror. So for me, I will probably try to get a lightning lane to that ride, and I'll wait in line on the standard queue to ride it twice. Plus, if you're someone who doesn't have to go to Fantasmic, unlike my friend Pierce here, who goes to Fantasmic every time, you can hit up and pretty much walk on to Tower of
Yeah.
Terror in the evening because everybody's bailed for the show. So, whatever you want to do there. But you've got Tower of Terror. You've got Rock and Roller Coaster when it reopens. You've got Slinky Dog Dash. You've got Toy Story Mania. There's the Indiana Jones show you technically could use it for. I know I'm missing some Star
M2R2,
Tours.
Mickey and Minnie's Runaway
M2R2.
Railway.
Yeah, that's a huge one. There's
Yeah.
so many good rides that I think wait times
Smuggler's
can
Run.
be Smuggler's Run. Wait times can be a difficult thing at Hollywood
Yeah.
Studios because
100%.
there's not a lot of rides overall compared to like Magic Kingdom, but there are a lot of good rides. So the lines get long. So I'm always for it.
Dare I say, before we even do Magic Kingdom, this is the one you have to, if you're going to get a multi-pass, I do feel like this is the one you have to get. Because to get through all the rides without going to Rise, let's just say you don't go to Rise of Resistance because it's broken down all day like it normally
Yeah,
is.
no doubt.
The only way you're still going to get through all the rides, in my opinion, is if you on a semi busy day, is you're going to have a multi-pass
Yeah.
because the wait times for Midway Mania, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, and Slinky Dog, which are all right in like the same area, will get up to an hour for each of them.
Yeah.
So if you're waiting, and Slinky Dog could get up to an hour and a half, 2 hours. So if
Yeah.
you're waiting for just those three, then how are you ever going to get up front or get back up front and do Tower of Terror and the Rock and Roller Coaster? You just won't get to them. And this isn't even mentioning the Monsters Incorporated land that's coming.
Yeah,
with their new
true.
ride. So it is,
That ride is
and
going to be insanely busy. Like that's
yeah.
yeah.
And I've recently seen Star Tours get up to like 45 minutes. And that's an old ride. Can you
Yeah.
imagine waiting 45? And I love Star Tours, but I don't want to wait 40. That's a 15-minute wait at best.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree. Yeah,
so to do all those, I mean, it's a very tight park. It's because it feels like it. My wife and I were just talking about this the other day that at Hollywood Studios, you feel like it's everything's walking distance. Like it's not like
yeah.
Magic Kingdom where if you're in Frontierland, you're not gonna just be like, hey, let's shoot on over to the Astro
Buzz.
Orbiter.
Yeah, Buzz
Yeah,
and
you're not gonna do
yeah.
that. It's so far away. But at
Yeah.
Hollywood Studios, everything feels close. Even if you're in Batu and you want to go to Tower of Terror, it doesn't feel like it's that far away because it is such a smaller park. So, but they have so many really good rides, like entertaining rides in that small park that it gets packed and those times shoot way up.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more with those sentiments. If you had to pick, what are you rope dropping? If you're going to rope drop, what's your approach?
Well, that's tough. I would probably do Slinky Dog, but I think my wife, well, I think she'd probably want to do Slinky Dog too. She loves Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. That's like one of
Me
her
too.
favorite rides.
Same. Same.
So I oftentimes she'll want to do that. And I at that park, I really like Midway Mania. I freaking love Toy Stories
Yeah, it's such a good
Midway Mania.
ride.
So it it varies, but I would probably say Slinky Dog just because that gets the longest times throughout the day. So if you're gonna do it, and my kid rode it, my oldest kid, Lily, she rode it and
Yeah.
she had a freaking blast. So if she's
Yeah.
with us, we're definitely gonna ride that because she loved it so much. So probably
My
that.
approach my approach is if it's your first time going and you are a diehard Star Wars fan, I would suggest you rope drop Rise
Yeah,
against the Resistance. I rather than paying for the individual lightning lane, just go do that. Get the multi pass and then go do the other rides later. If you're not a diehard Star Wars fan, then I'm either it's one of three rides. I always do Slinky purely because there's not a lot of shade over there and later in the day gets hot, and so I want to get through that ride early.
yeah,
If not, when Muppets comes to Rock and Roller Coaster, that's going to be chaotic, so I would do that. And then the third option would be Tower of Terror. Once again, Tower of Terror you can get there's two shows usually for Phantasmic. Just go do Tower of Terror during one of them and go do the Phantasmic show at the other one.
yeah.
So I don't even do that for Tower of Terror much. That's my favorite ride. So I would say Rock and Roller Coaster or preferably Slinky Dog Dash, unless you're a Star Wars fanatic. Then you got to
Yeah.
go Rise because
It's
the
weird.
wait at Rise is so long because half the time it's broken down.
Right, but I will say this, of all the individual lightning lanes, I feel like Rise has the largest fluctuation of times. So sometimes Rise is like 25 minutes and
You're
it
true.
hasn't
That's
been
true.
down and it's just really short.
It's
But then
weird.
other times it's 2 hours because it's been down all day.
Yeah.
So uh, where you compare it to like the Avatar ride, Flight of Passage, it's always going to fluctuate around that 50 to 100 minutes,
Yeah, I
all day
think
long. So
part
if
of the
not
reason
longer. So
yeah, I agree with you. But I think part of the reason I advocate for rope dropping Rise if it's running is to get it in before it breaks down. If you're
that's 100%.
yeah, if you're dying to do it and you're a fanatic, that ride goes down and when you miss a lightning lane cuz it's down, they just give you an extra lightning lane to do whatever you want anywhere. It doesn't mean the ride's going to come back up and you're going to get to do it. So, if you are a Rise fan, get it in while it's open because it could be shut down later in the day.
So a couple things to just take into mind or take into account when you're rope dropping though is oftentimes you don't know that a ride's down because it doesn't show that it's down in the app because the park's not open. So there's no times. So
Yes, it's true.
as soon as you get going in the park or when you're getting checked in with your ticket, then They might not
Yes.
know, but just ask. And if you see other cast members, ask them as you're going, hey, do you happen to know if Rise is up? It hasn't posted yet. And if they don't know, that's fine. They understand why you're asking.
Yes.
Because
Or
if you get all the way back there and then it's not working or it's down, then you're going to have to veer off to Slinky Dog, and you're probably going
yes,
to fall
you're
a
going to
bit
lose some
farther
spots.
back in the pack. Yeah.
You are.
So just try
But
to never feel bad about asking cast members questions.
100% agree. If you get familiar with the map on the app, because if you do get to Rise and it's down, like you said, be prepared to dart directly over to Slinky Dog Dash. Because you go in one entrance for Rise of Star Wars, the land back there, and you're gonna
Blackspire
take it.
Outpost, Batu, all that, yeah.
Yeah, Batu and all that. You're gonna go out the other side though to get to Slinky
Right.
Dog Dash. So
Yep.
I suggest you be familiar with your surroundings in the app before you make your approach. And be prepared for people to hustle. You're going to see people start taking off. People are crazy when you rope drop. Sometimes they try to keep them from running. Sometimes they can't.
They do like the power walk.
The power walk is everybody. Yeah, it's you're going to look at people like, what is wrong with these people if you've never been there? But yeah, that's my approach. I think it's a must do for me. Lightning lane's there. Let's move on to Magic Kingdom. Where you said that that's the park that Hollywood Studios is the park that you have to have Lightning Lane.
Right.
I counter with Magic Kingdom being the one to get the multi-pass. There's so many rides and so many options to use multi-pass with that the value is great. So
let me follow up with that. So I agree, but I go to Magic Kingdom accepting that I'm not going to see everything. There's just too much to see in one day at Magic Kingdom, in my opinion. Once again, especially if I have my children with me, that we're never going to see it all. So we're going to pick and choose what we can see because that's just too much walking, and it's too much. There's just too much. It's just too massive.
Okay.
So, you plan your morning as best you can, and then you just accept whatever else happens the rest of the day. So while I agree, multipass is great, you might not be going to that 7:00, pan ride if you get it. And I'm not going to waste a Lightning Lane on It's a Small World when it's a 10-minute wait most of the time. Now, there's times where the park's busy and it's a half-hour wait, but you know what I mean? Like that's my point of view on it. Like,
okay,
I'll probably still get it. I'll probably still get the multi-pass just because it just makes the day easier. But if you were going to if you were only going to do one of the 4 parks, Hollywood Studios would be my pick.
Okay, fair enough. I think that's fair. I will say this: if you're someone with little kids, though, who, especially if you're going in like the summer when times are a little busier, if they want to meet characters, the Lightning Lanes can help a ton because the lines for the meet and greets get insanely long. Same with if you're going to a party. A party, they don't do Lightning Lanes. So,
right.
But even like, I'm thinking more like if during holiday time, sometimes it's so busy there that you meet and greet characters. The times add up so long that you can spend your whole day and you don't ride any rides. So, consider that if it's busy, you're definitely going to want it. And that goes to the case for any of these
greets. But not all character meet and greets get Lightning Lanes either. It's just the big ones. So
the big ones.
That's to keep in mind too, because if you're just walking along and you see Peter Pan standing there, there's no Lightning Lane for Peter Pan.
Yes.
So you're still going to wait 20 minutes if your kid wants to meet Peter Pan.
Yes, 100% true. The ones that there were a time when I've been to a couple trips where it was like a 75-minute wait to meet a princess, and I was like, dude, you've got to be kidding me! Like that is just
and when
long.
like during parties when there is no fast Lightning Lanes.
Oh yeah.
The Jack and Sally wait times. I mean, they can be 2 hours.
Yeah, I've done an hour and a half. I waited for that one. That's the longest I've waited at Disney because I am a 45-minute max because I've been and seen everything so many times that I don't mind if I miss anything other than Tower of Terror. The rest of them I can pretty much part with. Avatar Flight of Passage. I love that ride. And Guardians. There's like one ride at every park that I really want to do. But that is the longest I've waited, because 45 minutes is like my max. I don't want to stand in line forever. I'd rather go watch a parade or get a snack or go ride another ride that's shorter time, because there's so many good ones. That's my take. But
yeah. So,
I'm also, that's from a point of privilege.
What are you rope dropping then at Magic Kingdom? What is your go-to, and then what's your plan after that?
Yeah, I think you got to rope drop one of two things. You got to rope drop either Tron, or you got to rope drop
those premier,
or you got Seven Dwarfs, because the lines get insanely long for those. Tron, I feel like, has helped reduce the amount of time at Seven Dwarfs, but it's still high. Yeah, still high. We rope dropped Tron when we went a year ago. I thought that was a great use of our time, because I saw the lines after that and the wait times, and it was awful. And that ride is so short. I would not wait longer than 45 minutes for that ride. It's a good ride, but the amount of time you're on it, it's like 45 seconds or whatever. I don't know what it really is, but it feels quick.
I think, but if this is for somebody's first time going, I definitely think rope dropping Tron's the way to go, because it's at Magic Kingdom. It's the thrilliest of rides. So there's no other ride that's a thrill ride like Tron. So the closest is Mine Train, and it is not a thrill ride like Tron.
No, you're right.
So I would definitely rope drop Tron.
The closest would be Space Mountain, but
I guess that's true. But that's just my opinion on Space Mountain.
I know.
So.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think rope dropping Tron is the way to go. It's a long line. It's a 90-second ride or whatever. But I will say the queue's really cool for Tron.
It is.
And I've never seen a Tron movie, but I still think the queues are neat. All the lights.
Same here, actually.
The locker setup's really cool there too. Even especially if you spill your popcorn all over the place.
That. Yeah, you did that. That was
Dad Panda.
But if you don't love thrill rides, if you don't love thrill rides though, but you like small roller coasters, it's Seven Dwarfs all the way. So kind of just determine what you want most out of it and go that route. After that,
the perk of the let me just say real quick, if you are going to do Seven Dwarfs ride, sorry I keep interrupting you tonight. No,
you're okay.
Apologize. If you're going to do Seven Dwarfs ride, as soon as you're done with that, you either need to go to Peter Pan's Flight or Winnie the Pooh, because those weirdly will get long. Peter Pan is like the fan favorite, and it will be one of the longest times of the day. After you get off Seven Dwarfs, it might already be 45 minutes to 50 minutes. So just be prepared for that. And it's going to be a really hard multi-pass if you get that to get.
Yeah, but it's a weird ride. Like, I don't know why it's so widely popular. It's good, but it's not like a thrill or anything. It boggles my mind how long that line wait gets. There's a time when even when Seven Dwarfs was the premier ride and Tron wasn't there, Peter Pan would be like 20 minutes longer than Seven Dwarfs. And I was like, why? But
I think it's just the amount of people that get through it. It's just so slow.
Yes.
That they're not cranking a lot of folks through per hour, and I think that's probably why.
But that would be
I don't know.
That would probably be my approach. So if you're rope dropping Tron, I'd probably kick over to Buzz Lightyear, because it's reopening now and it's going to be longer.
Yep.
I would probably do that. If you're rope dropping Mine Train, I'm definitely kicking over to Peter Pan and trying to do that next. With that being said, eventually Big Thunder is going to be back open, and that will be long waits. That roller coaster is missed by a lot of people. So I'd probably go over there as soon as you can, earlier in the morning before the crowds get bigger. I'm a fan of doing Tiana's in the morning when there is basically no wait. Is it a little colder and you're going to get wet? Yep, bring your poncho, suck it up, and get it done. Because I feel like I could ride that ride back to back in a matter of like 15 minutes if you go first thing in the morning, because nobody wants to be wet and cold. Right. So if you love those log drop rides, just suck it up and go do it in the morning. I
That's also a great ride to do at night because
True.
when you go
Fire,
down at night, you really see the
the
lit up
view.
castle. When you go,
Yeah,
oh, it's so good.
it
It's
is.
colder, but it's so
Yep.
good, and the wait because it's colder, the wait times are a lot lower.
I am so ridiculous that I go to the Christmas parties and just keep looping that ride. It's like nobody's on it because it's cold and dark and they're all getting cookies. And Steph's finally like, I don't want to do it anymore. I went 3 times in a row. She's like, I'm not going again. You can go if you want to. I'll meet you somewhere else. I was like, it's fine. I won't do it anymore. But I love that ride. So, yeah, that I wouldn't give that advice to anybody else unless you're like me and weird. But
I just thought of one more thing about Tron. If you rope drop Tron and you are like close to the front, a lot of times they'll start going on Tron before park opens or
yep,
early opening. There's a possibility that you can ride Tron and get to Mine Train,
it's true.
the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, before it's beyond like 35 minutes. If that's an option,
Do it.
do
Yeah,
that.
do that.
Do that.
100%. That's the way to go.
Get those 2 done because you'll have knocked out your wait times in the first hour of being at the park, and that is an accomplishment.
Yeah,
So
totally agree. Also, surprisingly, what gets long that you're also going to want to consider. I don't know if first time Disney people are like amped for this ride because it's like just loved by longtime Disney fans, but Jungle Cruise gets long. It gets,
yeah,
I don't know why. And the queue is not that comfortable. It's in the heat. It gets hot. So if you end
and
up
they're really
over,
narrow. They're narrow, fenced in lines, so your kids can't go anywhere.
yep,
And it is uncomfortable. You're right. I hadn't thought about that.
I would strongly suggest trying to get a lightning lane for that ride.
Yeah, I
The
agree.
experience is far better for that one if possible. I will say I rarely have trouble waiting longer than 30 minutes to get on Pirates. Pirates is one of my favorite rides.
Yeah.
It's easily one of your favorite rides.
Yeah, it's my favorite ride at Magic Kingdom. I mean, it
Yeah,
might be
but
my overall favorite ride, that and Living with the Land. And I know
yeah,
they're both like lame, like, you
no,
know,
no, they're awesome.
little rides, but I get the most enthralled in those. So
I could ride Pirates 3 times in a day and be fine. Like I wouldn't feel
yeah,
like I wasted time.
I always
I
see
love
something
it.
new, man, every time.
Always, man. It's so good. But with that being said, I always seem to find a pocket where it's a 25-minute wait. All of a sudden everybody gets through and nobody wants to wait, and then I just jump in there, and 25 minutes
Sometimes
isn't that long.
it gets down. Well, sometimes it gets down to like 5-10 minutes, and it's
You
just
can
freaking
find
awesome.
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Now, when I want to say this, I said to everybody, hey, go do Tower of Terror during Phantasmic, right? You would not advise that because you're like, unless they're running 2 shows and you do it during and you're going to the other show.
right.
If you don't love fireworks, there is opportunity to get good wait times during the fireworks. With
Yes.
that being said, the fireworks are my favorite thing in anything Disney. Happily Ever After, people stand in the front and try to get close. You do get a good view of the castle. Might I suggest you stand closer to the back down Main Street? They project everything that they project onto the castle onto Main Street as well. And it is this fully immersive experience. It's not as chaotic to get out at the end of the night. I thoroughly enjoy it. If you want the Disney feels, do not skip Happily Ever After. If you're someone who doesn't love fireworks, my brother does not because he's had brain injuries and other stuff, go ride a ride during that time. Go do Tiana's at that moment and see the fireworks from the top of the hill. Like that's killer. So, consider that. I would never suggest that to anybody because I love them that much, but I do know people who do suggest doing that, and I understand.
I'll be honest with you. Outside of parties, I don't remember the last time I saw fireworks at Magic Kingdom. Was it with you?
Me. We went.
Okay.
And you're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know if I've ever seen these before. Where do we go?
I
I was like,
it's
what?
not for
I was
me.
so so mind blown by that. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's the whole thing, right? Like, just
I
got to
see it
determine
as
what
an
you like to
option
do.
to do other stuff. I like you're saying about Phantasmic. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep. Okay, so give me we're gonna finish this out. It's getting long, but give me 3 rides you absolutely won't skip. Must do 3
At Magic
rides
Kingdom or just overall?
at all 4 parks. What are the 3 that you're saying? What are your 3 favorite?
I would say Flight of Passage. Um, boy, you really put me on the spot there.
I know.
Um,
Remy's? Or you're gonna say Pirates. Living with the
well,
Land.
I don't look at Pirates as one that you would skip because the line's never going to be that long. So
Oh,
I'm talking
you're
about
looking at this more like
like the busy rides,
yeah.
I'm definitely thinking Flight of Passage, uh, Cosmic Rewind. If
Yep.
it's your first time ever being there, you got to do, and you
You
like
have
roller
to.
coasters, that's
You
freaking
have to.
awesome.
It is the best.
And uh, what a Hollywood Studios, probably Tower of Terror.
You're right about that.
Be- because a Tower of Terror, it's not the ride, it's the queue. The
No, it's
queue
the
is
ride.
so good at Tower, and same with Haunted Mansion. I should
It's the
mention
ride too,
Haunted
though.
Mansion too. Um, you get so immersed in the whole thing, like walking around behind the elevators and everything, and then moving around and seeing all the Tower of Terror stuff. Once you actually get on the, it's not when I say the ride, the dropping up and down. It's not all about that. It's also seeing the
Oh no,
scenes
yes.
before you do that. Yeah,
Yes.
that's what I meant. It's not the thrill
Yeah.
of the up and down as much for me as the storytelling of it. So those would be my 3 rides, I think. I'm sure I'm missing things that I would throw in there, but Midway
This,
Mania is awesome.
this is
Rise of
insane.
Resistance if it's your first time, you know.
This is insane, but I exactly the same. You gave 4, and those are my 4. If you're asking me my number 1 ride from every park, I'm gonna say Epcot's Cosmic Rewind. Hollywood Studios is Tower of Terror, and Animal Kingdom's definitely Flight of Passage. And if you're asking me what I would never skip at Magic Kingdom, it's Haunted Mansion. Those are my
Yeah.
4
Because
big hitters. And
Haunted Mansion could have slower times, but every now and again it'll get up to an hour. Um,
yeah,
where Pirates doesn't really get up that high
but I'm
unless it's
also
been like
not.
down for some reason.
If it is, I'm also not missing Pirates though. Like if
Yeah,
it gets that
I'm
long,
going to go to Pirates over Haunted Mansion, but my wife will go to Haunted Mansion over Pirates. So,
I would too. I hate to say that, but I would too. If I ever get
yeah.
a tattoo of something at at Magic Kingdom, because I need that one still. I got Hollywood Studios and Epcot.
Hmm.
Um, it would be the Haunted Mansion and not the castle.
Yeah.
I'm different there, but I freaking love it. So probably be the 3 ghosts, hitchhikers.
So yeah, guys,
So
get in the chat and tell us what each park your must goes to is, because that's always interesting to see what everybody else says.
yeah, tell us where we're wrong. We'd love
Yeah,
to discuss it. You really might have a perspective that we didn't think of, and you're like, hey, that's a good tip for me next time.
yeah.
I'm gonna run with that. So yep. So man, with that, I guess we will call it a day. It's been fun. We'll see you next week.
All right.
Peace.
Bye.